Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Kick the Cool. You've done it. You found it. In the giant sea of cool podcasts that are out there, you found the one that kicks the cool to the curb. We do it every time, and it is a wonderful place to be. I am your big little brother, Tone.
And I'm your little brother and smooth criminal Floppy.
I'm still America's big sister, Shishi.
And this is the podcast that gives you the reviews you didn't know you needed. What's up, my nerds? Okay.
Listen, we usually record in the late afternoon or early evening, and this time is morning, and I got my coffee. I'm just kind of cozy. I'm just like, this is just smooth jazz today.
Guys, I just really feel compelled to mostly talk about the Limbo. You know, I really want to talk about the hokey pokey because that's something that's kind of, to me, always in with the Limbo kind of, but mostly tell me about the Limbo.
Well, as you know, you put your right hand in and your right hand out.
That is actually that's my favorite way to Limbo. I go up to the pole.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute.
My right hand under.
Right.
And then I pull
And
it
they're
back
like,
up.
It's morning.
But
Here
then
you go.
back up. And then you put your left hand in. And then
you
they're
shake
like,
it?
And then you shake it. And they're like, wait a minute.
Wait. You're just teasing them on the Limbo. And then finally, you do the whole self. And you go back and forth while you're under the pole.
It takes
Okay,
6 minutes for you to get under the pole.
And then you shake it all about, and they're like, I don't know what you're doing.
This is the weirdest Limbo I've ever seen.
Okay, don't give me a hard time. It's morning. I'm not wearing pants.
I think you just made the whole.
So...
Yeah.
You just made the topic, dude.
You know, the thing about Limbo is you're supposed to like lean backwards, but in the skating rink, it was just about who could like crouch best, you know?
Yeah, so the
You
tiniest
can't
little
actually
kid
Limbo.
always won. It was always the 3-year-old whose mother came and pushed him.
Yeah.
And he just crouched down into a tiny skate-high ball.
Mm-hmm.
We had some of those masters that could like have their face almost on the ground and like slide under that, you know, master skaters,
Mm-hmm.
those people who could skate backwards and talk to somebody.
And then at the skating rink, I was one of the guys that transitioned to rollerblades. So I thought I was like the coolest guy, but every game was impossible with rollerblades. You
Yeah,
can't
'cause they're so
Limbo
tall.
you can't get down. Yeah, they're tall and you can't really like do the same. We used to shoot the duck. Can't do that with a rollerblade.
Rob, so what is shoot the duck?
Well, first of all, I've never ever limboed outside of the skating rink. Have you guys?
Yeah.
That
Really?
was my first question. Yes.
Yes. I don't know if I've seen it happen outside of a skating rink.
Oh, gosh. Well, we need to do that when next time we come to your house for Thanksgiving.
Right.
We're going to Limbo.
Going to be a lot of injuries. I can tell you that right now.
We're going to start it at 8 foot and we'll go down 2 inches at a time.
Down to 5 feet, and then Mom will win, and we'll be done.
Because the second that it's even an inch below our height, we will not be able to do it.
Hey, I'm pretty
That's right.
flexible.
All right. Well, last week, of course, we did all 3 of our reviews were actually segments. And so that was episode 20, our special episode. This one is even more special because, as everyone knows, 21 is a more special number than 20. Mm-hmm. And we have a very different thing going to happen today. We're all 3 going to do a review topic. Oh, wait. Oh, that's what we do every week.
I was like, don't spring things on me on a Sunday morning. I'm not wearing pants, remember? So,
oh, yeah, that's
took
right.
a page out of your book.
It's a different energy, yes.
So, first up today is the unpanted Wopsle. Wopsle, the smooth criminal himself. Wopsle, what do you have to review today?
Yeah, so in the vein of just keeping it cool and chill and jazzy, today I want us to review cat. Wait for it. Fish. Catfish.
The anticipation killed me. I'm dead now.
I want to review catfish.
Well, the delivery of those two words like that makes you really think about that fish. Wait a minute. Catfish.
Yeah.
Catfish. The fish that looks like a cat. I got a lot of things to say about catfish, but before we do, I want to get you guys' take on catfish. So, what do you think about catfish?
Well, they're delicious. If you don't watch it, they'll bite you. I like their little whiskers.
More like dogfish, am I right?
Dogfish, woof woof.
That's the exact sound that a dogfish makes.
Right.
Well, first of all, I think it's a little bit of a stretch to say, oh, well, this is a catfish just because it's got some little things coming out of its face. We're going to call those whiskers. I mean, what else does it have? Nothing. There's nothing else in common. So everything else that has whiskers on it, you're going to call it a cat something? Oh, there's a cat dog.
Cat rabbit?
There's a cat rabbit.
No one calls a shrimp a cat lobster. Like,
Well, I will now.
Look at that cat lobster.
tiny cat lobster.
Think of another fish that has whiskers. I think that is there isn't another fish that has whiskers.
No, you're
So
right.
why did they go with cat?
There's lots of different
gonna say,
crustaceans that have whiskers.
There's a lot of animals that have whiskers other than cat, though. Could have been a walrus fish.
Right. Yes.
Mouse fish.
Almost anything. I mean,
Human fish. Especially after
human
camp.
fish.
I didn't shave this week, so human fish. Wapsle fish.
I know. I know why they call it catfish.
Oh.
Here it is. Because you want to cuddle with them. You don't want to cuddle with a walrus or a crustacean. You want to cuddle with a fish.
That is a great point. Is catfish obviously the most cuddly fish? Like, it's about the only fish that you want to cuddle up to.
Yeah.
So when you go noodling and you pull it out of the rock with your bare hands, the first thing you do is squeeze
It's
it.
like, look at this guy.
If you ever wondered where are these people from, I think she just illustrated it perfectly when she said, if you ever go noodling, I love it.
Look it up, people. Google is your friend sometimes.
Well, let me ask you this. When I say the word catfish, or if I say we're going to review catfish, do you think of the cute and cuddly slippery guy, or do you think of a plate with hush puppies and some kind of kraut, or with hush puppies and coleslaw on it? Which one of those two things?
Well, that's really weird because I think that I thought of the animal first, and then the food source was like an offshoot of that. And that's kind of backwards of what I would expect, what I would have predicted.
Well, see, I think that,
For
so
myself.
I normally, when anyone says catfish, I think of the food. I think of a nice, healthy basket of catfish. And because of the way you said it in the beginning,
True.
it brought to my
Maybe that
mind
was
the
it.
fish. And
Right.
so that was my first thought. But I always, when someone says catfish, I'm thinking of that delicious food.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good psychological experiment you just did on us, Wapsle.
Oh, that was good.
Right, it is, yeah. Well, yeah, I was really thinking about catfish because I drove by the catfish place that I grew up going to, which is called the Catfish Roundup.
Oh, yeah.
It has a guy riding a giant catfish like it's a bull on the sign, and it's pretty
Nice.
brilliant. And I drove by that the other day, and I was like, I haven't had catfish in too long, and I love it. So I want to talk about how cute and cuddly they are, because it really is. Like, there's no other fish that I'm like, oh, like I catch a carp, and I'm like, get this guy out of my sight so fast. He's gross. I hate him. But a catfish, I'm like, me and this catfish like need to go like grab a beer or something, like I love this guy.
And he's like, I can't
breathe. Right, it's like, get me back to the water. I can't breathe beer. But yeah, so is Catfish Roundup the best catfish, or is it just the catfish that I grew up on? Where do you eat the best catfish?
I don't know anymore. But when
either.
when I lived in Prague, we used to go over to Sam's. I think it was Sam's in Payton, and they had a Tuesday night special, but catfish, hush puppies, coleslaw, and something else. Beans. They had beans with it. So I mean, you would get all of that for like really cheap. And we went over there every Tuesday night, and it was delicious.
But I think I always assumed it was locally caught because listen, I love catfish and I want to go get some like today because I miss it. But if we're like kind of really honest, I think catfish taste like mud.
Yeah.
Which is why I always assumed it was caught in Oklahoma, because all of our rivers and lakes are full of mud also. So I just kind of assumed it was local, but I don't know, maybe not.
Now, what's interesting is you love that. You love that muddy taste.
Yeah.
Mud. Give me more mud, please.
I think that's its charm. Like,
Yeah,
if you grow up, it's like maybe it's an acquired taste. So if you're eating it from a young age, if you have a fisherman in your family, you're going to be eating more catfish. Possibly.
Well, it's a pretty good point. I mean, other fish taste very fishy, right? Like it's overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
This is fish. Oh boy. And then catfish, when it's fried up and everything, you're like, well, this is just a tasty little treat.
But think about that. Yeah. Think about that, because no other fish do you bread and fry, really.
Right.
You don't deep fry other kinds of fish. So you have to cover the flavor with cornmeal.
Right.
You have to cover that muddy flavor with cornmeal. Well, I was going to say,
the mud goes excellently with the cornmeal.
No other fish do I eat with ketchup. And I just straight up will dip a catfish plank into ketchup, no questions asked.
That's right.
Because it's almost like a French fry.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, that's why. Okay, that's why we like it.
Yeah, but so is a chicken finger, and I'm not going to dip a chicken finger in ketchup. I'm not weird.
You dip a chicken finger in ketchup?
No way. I mean, I might go with some honey mustard. Or you guys dip chicken fingers in ketchup?
Oh, only. Solamente.
Solamente. I think it's the Boomerang the Boomerang Diner.
Okay, yeah, I know that place.
There's a lot of little Boomerang diners around this area, and they have Tuesday night all you can eat catfish.
About to test that.
Yeah, so you're like, well, so my dream. Okay, you just made my dream a reality. And then you go in, and of course it's full. The whole place is packed. And then you say, oh yeah, I'm about to get my grub on, and they bring you 3 little pieces of catfish in a basket, and then they what they do is whenever you're empty, they'll come and see that you're empty, and they'll bring you 3 more little pieces. Takes them about 30 minutes to get around to you because the restaurant's so full.
Everybody is there.
You get 3 pieces of fish, and then you're sitting there like twiddling your fingers, and then you get 3 more. It's the biggest tease in the world for fat kids.
And it's like it's not quite fast enough to fill you up, kind of like ever. Right.
So you could sit there all day and all night.
But yeah, I haven't had catfish in too long, and I feel like it's about time. But before we wrap up this catfish talk, I did want to ask, how many people do you guys know that are called catfish?
Ooh.
None.
Because I know zero. I know 2 different people that are called catfish.
What?
How many have you? Because I know when we all lived out north of Paden that y'all knew some fools named Catfish.
Did we? Maybe some of Bobby's friends?
I don't remember anyone ever named Catfish.
Now, I feel like Catfish is a very common country nickname. It's a CB handle, right? It's like a...
Oh, yeah.
It's like
yeah.
Right. So
that makes sense to me. That makes sense in my brain, but I can't recall any specific person, which is weird to me because we were as country as it gets.
That's what I'm saying.
And we used CBs when I was a kid.
Right.
I should have known a catfish at some point.
And you guys literally worked in a bait shop. You guys sold something to somebody named Catfish, I guarantee. You just didn't get their name.
No, we had no customers.
That's true. That's true. I will say this. It is 100% guaranteed that someone named Catfish drove by and saw the sign, Bob's Bait Barn, and saw the sign and thought, and then moved on. They kept driving.
Right. That much is a certainty.
That's true.
That is a certainty.
Well, I was wondering, I mean, we can still try to figure this out. I was wondering what about a catfish makes it such a prominent nickname, but it maybe isn't as prominent as I thought it was. But let's pretend like 1 in every 10 people is named Catfish. What do you think it is about a catfish that makes it such a prominent nickname?
Well, it's a good double syllable word. Mm-hmm. It has a good feel in your mouth. Catfish are kind of a river bottom, dirty animal. So Maybe that says something about the ribbing of the person you're calling catfish.
They're kind of muddy, kind of dirty.
Yeah. But to me, for some reason, and it doesn't make much sense, but to me, catfish sounds like a real wiry guy.
I was going to say wiry. The exact word I was going to say.
I was going the opposite.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Catfish sounds like the kind of guy that could he's all wiry and he's just good for everything. Like he can pull off anything you need done, but he probably won't do it very well, but he can get it done. Like anything under the sun, catfish can get it done.
He'll fix your transmission, and it might only be good for another 5,000 or 6,000 miles, but he's going to have your back and do it. Trust me, catfish has got you when you need your transmission changed.
Yeah, catfish is going to change your transmission, and then when he gets done, he's wiping his hands on the grease off his hands and the transmission fluid off his hands. You say, "Hey, catfish, you busy today?" After now that you're done, oh no, man, I'm open. Hey, I got some drywall. Could you put up some drywall for me? Catfish can do it.
Yeah,
it's gonna not grow. It's not gonna look great,
but it'll be up there.
I know. You guys describing catfish makes me realize that I was wrong in my initial assessment. He's not. That is exactly what catfish would do and look like and be. Yeah. And I know so many of those. I think some are in our family.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, so do we need to right now decide who we're going to nickname catfish?
Out of the three of us or in general?
Out of the three of us. I like that.
That's a different take.
Okay, out of the three of us.
Any of us are skinny enough.
Right? Out of the three of us, which one would be catfish if anyone was?
I'm going to say me.
I was going to say you too.
I was going to say she, except that I don't know a girl catfish, but listen, we're breaking the mold around here, so I'm okay with the first girl catfish that I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I fit all the other criteria except, well, no, I don't. I'm not skinny. But I can do a lot of things badly.
Right.
So.
And you would. Not only could you, but you would
I do it all
and try
the time.
it. Yeah.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Mostly successful, rough around the edges, but I'll do it.
A Jacqueline of all trades. All right, so it's official.
Right.
Shishi is now nicknamed catfish.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
So
it's an honor. It's an honor.
So let's rate catfish after all this discussion. Catfish, what do you rate catfish?
Well, I think I need to go get some skull.
Right.
Yes.
I give catfish 15 cuddles.
Oh, yeah.
15 cuddles.
I've never thought about it being the cuddliest fish, but you hit the nail on the head. Good call. Tone, what do you rate catfish?
Well, I'm going to rate catfish 3 14-inch singing cool catfish that sing bad to the bone and 20 hysterical phrases. This is the weirdest rating I've ever given. I'm rating it.
Weirdest rating I've ever heard.
Yeah, 3.
3 of those.
14. You can't tell that I'm reading this off of Amazon.com, can you? 3 14-inch singing cool catfish sings bad to the bone and 20 hysterical phrases. That's my rating.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to rate catfish 2 extra hush puppies with your meal at the roundup.
Oh, yeah.
Man, those hush puppies were so good.
That's right.
That's great.
Love hush puppies. All right.
I think next time we need to review the TV show or the verb to catfish.
I'm surprised we didn't get on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next review. Shishi, what do you have to review? I'm sorry. Sherry, catfish. Shishi, what do you have to review for us today?
That's not going to catch on.
We will totally have forgotten by next week.
Well, I thought in honor of our early morning no pants episode, I would review Waking Up.
Waking Up.
So,
great topic. Yeah.
Tone.
Yeah.
What do you think about waking up right now? You were up before all of us. So
waking up is a real experience to me. It's like, it takes a while for me to wake up. My head feels weird and my body feels weird and of course, my dreams are kicking around, slowly dissolving into nothingness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about you, Wopsle?
I always expect someone to wake me up before they go. And anytime someone does it afterward, I'm pretty upset.
Wake me up after you go. What is that?
Just shoot me a text and I'll get up after you're gone.
I'm glad I didn't have to talk to you.
I'd rather not face you in the daylight. So if you could hightail it, I'll wave to your tail lights.
Because I'm planning on going solo.
Because I'm trying
But I didn't want to tell you that.
Shoot me a text after you go. Because I've been trying to go solo.
Because I've just been awkwardly hanging out in my room, pretending to sleep.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, man.
I feel like
Yeah, that's what I think.
Tone and Wopsle have probably very different ideas about waking up because and experiences with waking up, because Wopsle has kids and Tony doesn't, and has a person who had children waking me up all the time. It's like you're always almost awake. It's like you can never really get to real sleep because you're going to have to wake up at some point.
Right.
And I've never gotten over that. Wopsle, sorry. It's going to last the rest of your life, even after they don't need you anymore.
You said because you're going to have to wake up at some point. Because people without kids go to sleep thinking, I may never wake up again.
They never have to wake up. Right.
At some point. Nah, probably not.
So you got what I was saying there. Not really. If you go to sleep, you're going to be fine. You will wake up most of the time.
But yeah, more like you go to sleep with kids, your sleep is going to be interrupted before you're ready for it. And that's a certainty.
Before you're ready for it, yes.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I have my alarm clock that just plays the radio. We reviewed my alarm clock a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
I lift up the washcloth and hit the off button, and then I kind of curse. Some mornings, though, I will leave it going, and I actually get up and dance a little bit because there's such good music on.
Oh, right.
And that's always like, why am I dancing right now? I'm sleepy, and I'm mad, and I'm cursing too, but I'm dancing.
But I'm also dancing. It's like your body and your brain are like at odds.
What am I doing? What's my body doing?
Pretty common in my house. Yeah.
Aren't we all a little silly? There have to be people out there who have a playlist or a set song that they wake up to every day, and then when they get tired of it, they switch it over to another amazing song. And every time they wake up, they're like, oh, heck yeah, watch this. And they start cutting a rug as they're getting out of the bed. They're already moving. They're already throwing moves out halfway out of the bed. And they do it every day because they're smart enough that they went, oh, guess what? I have a music playing device right here beside my bed. I can just make it play music that I love every single morning. Why are we not all doing this?
Yeah, that would help.
Are we not?
That would help. I'm not.
I'm not either. Yeah. Shishi, you said you're basically at the whim of the radio, right?
I'm at the whim of the radio. Yes. So some mornings it's a commercial.
Yeah.
And then I don't dance, and then I curse a little more.
But you wake up and you're like, I gotta whiten my teeth. Oh man.
I tell you what, if you have a dream and you don't necessarily remember it when you wake up, but you're like in a mood, not necessarily a bad mood, but just in some kind of mood,
right, and
you don't remember why, that's worst. I hate that. Mm-hmm. I hate not knowing why I'm in a mood. And this happens, quite often, not every day, but quite often.
I like it when you wake up and something during your sleep, usually, obviously it's going to be a dream, but it makes you think something that's not true, and then sometimes you're mad about it.
Right? Yes, you're mad at the person.
You're mad at a person for doing something, and you actually know they didn't do it, but you feel like it's true. It feels true, but you know it's not.
Mm-hmm. Can I tell you guys about a recent? Well, it's a story I told recently, but it happened a few years ago. But one night in the middle of the night, I woke up. So I get you that you're talking like waking up in the morning when you're supposed to wake up, right? But
right.
But one time I did wake up in the middle of the night. And listen, I wouldn't lie to you guys. Right here on the podcast in front of everybody, I wouldn't do that. I woke up fully believing 100% that vampires were a real thing. And if y'all don't want to get scared, convince yourself that vampires are real. Because you can't keep a vampire out of your house. It's a bat. It's a mist. It's, I don't know what vampires can do. But I woke up and I was thinking.
You have to invite them in, though, Wopsle. You have to invite them in and they can't come in.
But they trick you.
Right, exactly. They're like, I got this pizza. I'm like, are you a vampire? They're like, no, just the pizza guy.
I just need to come in and give it to you.
But yeah, I was tired enough to think vampires were real, but not awake enough to remember that I had to invite them in so that I was safe. It was a real dangerous place to wake up in.
Yeah, that's a danger zone.
But it was about 30 minutes that I believed that. And so, yeah, sometimes you wake up believing things that like take a long time to fade off.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
So when you wake up in the morning, do you make your bed?
I don't.
Like first thing? You get up and make your bed?
No.
So Wopsle, do you get up first or does Amy get up first? Because that's also a factor in waking up in the morning.
It kind of flip-flops. It depends.
And do you resent when she gets up first? Do you resent her noise?
No.
Because I was always the first one up. I woke up at 5:42 a.m. for like 3 years running and, had to take my shower and everything. And Richard got to sleep in. That's my ex-husband. And so I always wondered if he resented, but I don't think he ever woke up. So It just depends on how light a sleeper you are or how heavy a sleeper you are. But so you were telling that story about the middle of the night waking up. One time, I just remembered this. I woke up and it was time to get up. My alarm went off. I got up and took a shower and I came out of the bathroom and looked at the clock and it was 12:14 a.m.
Whoa.
I had dreamed that my alarm went off. And I was standing in the shower going, why am I so tired? I think I'm coming down with something. So.
Now I have had maybe
funny.
You guys will have that might be yours, your worst experience of waking up. Mine is I have for many years now had a problem with moving in my sleep to account for whatever dream I'm having. So especially when I'm fighting. So if I'm fighting something in a dream, I will kick and punch and get crazy. I'm doing jujitsu while I'm asleep, apparently, because twice I woke up. I was sleeping on a couch, which I do a lot, and I woke up as what woke me up was my shin connecting with the corner of a coffee table as hard as possible.
Ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
That is how I woke up. Okay. Oh boy. And then another time, then many times, if I'm asleep on the couch and I have a tray table that has some things on it, I will punch that tray table and knock it flying across the room. And if there was like a cup of water, my laptop, it all just goes flying.
So you really got to clear the area before you go to sleep and make sure like that your ninja moves aren't going to cause any long-term damage.
I pad everything down. I wrap everything in protective plastic and blankets.
Well, you like you said, you do nap a lot. And so listeners don't know that I often call you in the middle of the day on my way home from work. And so I can't count the number of times that you've answered the phone. Like it rings. You pick up the phone and you say, hey, she, hey, what? Yeah. Is everything okay? Hey. And I don't think that you even know that you did that because then we start a normal conversation. I'm like, oh, did I wake you up? Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. I needed to get up. It's okay. So.
What? Who?
Yeah.
Where is it?
That was a perfect reenactment. I've never been in on that call, but I'm telling you, I was there. I was in the moment. That was incredible.
Thank you.
I used to do a great thing with Mom. She would work nights and she would come home. This is when I was like 16, 17 years old. And Mom would come home after working a graveyard shift at 7 and 8 in the morning. And, I would need to or not go to school that day. And, or maybe it was a Saturday or whatever. But she would come home and she would say, wake me up and say, hey, Tony, today, can you please take out the trash or whatever? And at first I would say, yeah, Mom, I got it. And I have this weird ability to talk very clearly while I'm actually asleep. When asked a question, I will respond very clearly, even though I'm asleep. And so she would say, will you take out the trash? And I'd be like, yes, Mom, I have control of it, of the situation. And she would go, oh, well,
you can count on me.
I'm like, I think I might be a trash superhero, actually. No worries, civilian. And so the trash so she would say, well, this guy's awake. I'm going to bed. So she would go to bed. I would wake up, go about my business. And then Mom would be like, why did you not take the trash out? You told me you would. And I'm like, I never said that. And so then she started saying, Tony, sit up. And I would sit up and she would say, are you awake? And I'd say, yeah, I'm fully awake. I'm completely awake. And she's like, well, last time I had you sit up and you told me you were awake and you didn't hear me. And I'm like, no, I'm hearing you. I'm fully awake, Mom. She's like, okay, today I want you to take out the trash. Got it. All over it. Done. And I'd keep sitting up and she'd say, okay, you can go back to civilian. And she'd say, okay, you can go back to bed now. And I'd go back to bed and I would not remember a single moment.
And she fell for it every time.
Every time.
I'm laughing about this so hard because that's exactly what my son Cameron does to me. That's exactly what Cameron does. Well, he used to. He's way better about it now, but I would do the sitting up thing and everything. And it was useless, pointless.
That's awesome.
And you would think he was fully awake?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's next? Tony, what do you rate waking up?
I think that it's very obvious that the rating should be, I have the trash under control, civilian. The trash superhero.
Say that stuff
trash superhero.
That's really funny. Wopsle, what do you rate waking up?
I like being awake, but I do not like waking up. So I'm going to rate waking up 1 out of 1,000,000.
That is wow.
I don't like it very much.
1 out of 1,000,000.
Yeah, 1 out of 1,000,000.
I think I'm going to have to rate waking up comma down doobie doo down.
I was just about to sing
comma down doobie doo down. Waking up is hard to do.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my rating.
And you fulfilled our requirement of singing in every episode.
Yes.
There you go.
Check that off. Okay.
I really need to get a ukulele. So I'm going to accompany myself.
Okay, well, it looks like we're going to move on to the third topic, and that will be mine today. If everyone could please pull up your page that I sent you. Okay, do you guys have it pulled up?
Pulled up.
I do.
Okay, this week I want to review the song by Young MC from the 80s, I believe, Bust a Move.
Yeah.
Bust it.
I say
bust a move.
Wopsle,
Bust.
First of all, what do you think about the song?
Man, I love this song. Some of my old Preg folks will remember I had a little red car, a little red Plymouth Horizon.
Yes, sir.
And it was just a really special kind of weird little car. I had Christmas lights inside, all kinds of stuff. And this song was my soundtrack in that car. So I just cruised around town in that little weird car. playing this song all the time. So it's got all the great memories to me.
Awesome. Cece, what do you think about this song?
Well, I do love this song. Of course, I like to sing the girls' part.
Wopsle, didn't you have the single of this?
I did, which, man, that's a crazy, like, I didn't go buy that, so I don't know how I got that, but yeah.
All right. Well, there's a lot of things we could talk about with this song. It's got a great beat. It's got a really got a good groove that makes you dance. But I really want to delve into the lyrics today.
Cool.
So when we look at verse 1, it's pretty typical at first. This is a song for the guys. We're always trying to please the ladies. You try too hard and they're like, no. And then you play hard to get and the girls are like, oh, now I'm jealous.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Right. So then he says, okay, Smarty, go to a party. Okay, so he's at this party.
Yeah.
Girls are scantily clad and showing body. Okay. And a chick walks by and you want to hook up with her and you're standing on the wall like you was Poindexter. Okay, now he says, next day's function is a high-class luncheon. Keep that in mind. Next day's function is a high-class luncheon. Food is served and you're stone cold munching. The music comes on.
Stone Cold Munchin makes me immediately think of like Taco Bell or some value menu. That's what you're Stone Cold Munching on.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Not when you're at a
luncheon.
high-class
Yes.
luncheon. What's great is the next line. Music comes on. People start to dance. At lunch.
At a high-class luncheon.
I don't think that's how it happens.
I don't think so, but listen though, can I just peel back the curtain a little bit and say, have either of you ever been to a high-class luncheon?
I never have.
Because I haven't. I have to assume the three of us. Oh, okay.
Yes, but it was in a not a service.
Okay.
I was in a choir and we sang for the
Ooh.
high-class luncheon.
Well, so there was music happening.
There was
were
music,
people dancing
but
while
nobody.
you were singing?
Nope, no booty
Okay.
shaking. Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope. Except accidentally.
Right. Shifting. The booty shifting in the seats.
Booty shifting.
Jiggling.
That's definitely the new dance. She was booty shifting.
I do that in the car.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's definitely chair dancing. Is another word for chair dancing is booty shifting.
Hey, he doesn't say how they're dancing in the lyrics.
They're sitting there calmly at their luncheon and their booty shifting and their shoulders are kind of doing a shoulder rock. It's the worst and lamest dance party ever.
That's true. Maybe they're all chair dancing. No, that makes this verse way better, in my opinion. So the music comes on, people start to dance, so they're all chair dancing. But then you ate so much you nearly split your pants from chair dancing.
You're chair dancing so hard, you almost split your pants.
I think that he ate a lot
He was stone cold munching.
and vigorously chair danced.
A girl starts walking, guys start gawking, sits down next to you and starts talking. So this is the girl that everybody's looking at. She says she wants to dance because she likes to groove. So come on, fatso, and just bust a move. And apparently she says, I love to dance. And he says, Young MC says, well, let's do it. And they start chair dancing.
He makes the old lady next to him get up and move so she can sit in the chair next to him, and they dance together. Chair dance.
She says, let's dance. And he says, I mean, we're already sitting here. So we're perfect. We're primed and ready to go.
We're in position. Okay, verse 2. You're on a mission. Okay, now I'm not exactly sure what that means. He doesn't tell us what the mission is. I'm assuming girls, right?
Right, that would track, yeah.
That's so far. That's the
That's the theme. You're on a mission and you're wishing someone could cure your lonely condition. Looking for love in all the wrong places. No fine girls, just ugly faces. What?
Which any one of those could cure his lonely condition, I must say. If that's all he's worried about.
I'm so lonely. Everybody's ugly. wonder why. Okay. Well, we got a long ways to go. Okay. From frustration, first inclination is to become a monk and leave the situation. Okay. But every dark tunnel has a light of hope. So don't hang yourself with a celibate rope.
That is my motto. No. In life.
Okay. New movie showing. So you're going to the movie. You could care less about the $5 you're blowing, which is great when movies cost $5.
Mm-hmm.
The theater gets dark just to start the show. Then you spot a fine woman sitting in your row. You spot her. So she wasn't very close to you. You spot, right? You have to spot her. She's dressed in yellow. She says, "Hello, come sit next to me, you fine fellow." If I would be weirded out so bad if I just glance over and some girl's like, "Hey, come sit over here, honey."
Yeah, in the movies, nobody speaks to each other in the movies. That's not where you're going to meet somebody.
Right.
So
my response would be, "Excuse me? What was that? I don't know if I heard you right."
Shh, I can't hear the movie.
I'm trying to pay attention, please.
Why do you keep talking? I'm sitting here with this Uggo.
My pants, I need to get my pants mended. Okay. We're on verse 3, guys. Okay. In the city, ladies look pretty.
Well, wait. Can I
go ahead. Yeah, I'm
you,
sorry.
You didn't finish verse 2 where he says he's in the middle of the movies and this woman invites him over. So he says, of course, you run over there and start busting a move. Wait a minute.
And I'm wondering how much move does he need to bust because she already did it. Right?
Yeah. What move is he going to bust?
Am I not understanding what bust a move means? I think that means like come on to someone.
Well, it means double dance and come on to someone, right?
Yeah, it means like dance.
Yeah, like show them how cool you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we're dancing in order to attract someone.
Yeah.
I think so.
You run over there in the middle of this movie that's already been interrupted by a woman yelling, "Hey, come sit next to me, fine fellow." Instead of saying, "I don't know this woman," and scooting farther away, you run over there without a second to lose. And then what comes next? Hey, bust a move.
Bust a move.
Okay, so I'm sorry to keep harping on the. Okay, so is he at the movies with another lady because he's not hanging himself with a celibate rope? So he took her to the movies, right?
I don't think so.
That's I don't think so.
He took the ugly lady to the movies.
I had
okay. See, I missed. Yeah,
I might like that narrative better though.
Yeah. He's like, "See ya, Uggo." There's a nice looking lady calling me over. I don't know who she is. Okay, now I have to say one thing. I think this fits the precedent that Sherry set, because in verse 1 where they chair dance, right? Well, though this woman is sitting in the theater, she calls him over. Mm-hmm. He sits down beside her like she tells him to, and then they start busting a move in the chairs.
In the movie chairs.
Yeah, and okay, so in verse 1, he's saying he's trying to do what those ladies tell us.
Right.
So she told him to come over there, so he had to.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just doing what he's told.
By the pretty ladies, not by the Uggos.
Right, yeah.
Okay, verse 3. In the city, okay, now we're in the city. Ladies look pretty. Okay. Guys tell jokes so they can seem witty. Tell a funny joke just to get some play. Then you try to make a move, and she says, "No way." Okay.
Nope.
Girls are faking. Goodness sakin'. I don't know what that means. They want a man who brings home the bacon. Now, this all kind of makes sense. Got no money and you got no car, then you got no woman, and there you are. Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm,
Some girls are sadistic, materialistic. Looking for a man makes them opportunistic. They're lying on the beach, perpetrating a tan so that a brother with money can be their man. So on the beach, you're strolling, real high rolling. Now, that doesn't seem to fit with the rest of the song. I never got the impression in this song that Young MC was a real high roller.
Do you think it took him 3 verses to realize, wait, I can weave fiction into this rap?
Everything else was perfectly true.
Right. So far, it's been a memoir of these 2 times that I busted a move in my chair. But let's spin a little grander tale on this 3rd verse and see where it goes.
Well, he did say they were at a high-class luncheon. So maybe he is a high roller.
Right.
Okay, so he's strolling down the beach.
Maybe.
He's a high roller, which when you're on the beach, how is it obvious that you're a high roller? Is it a chain? Is it your shorts are just amazing?
I think it's the jacket and pipe.
If you are dressed like Hugh Hefner, that's how you tell
your
when
bathrobe.
someone's a high roller.
Okay, so on the beach you're strolling, real high rolling. Everything you have is yours and not stolen. Okay. A girl runs up and she has something to prove, quote unquote, something to prove. So don't just stand there, start dancing.
There it is again. Don't stand there. Sit down
in the sand.
And bust that cheek scoot move.
Throw down your towel.
Don't even bother with the towel. You're just going to get sand in your pants at this point, and that's okay.
Don't just stand there. Sit down. Okay.
Sit down and bust a move. That's what she came here for.
Right. She had something to prove. What did she want to prove? She wanted to prove that she could beat you in sit down dancing. That's what she ran up with something to prove.
So you're scooting across the beach like a dog with worms, basically, is what's happening.
She wanted to prove to her friends that were in their towels 20 feet away that you're the guy that danced sitting on your butt all the time. That's what she had something to prove. That she saw you at this luncheon and you wouldn't stand up when you danced.
Okay. All right. Oh, I gotta compose myself. Okay. Verse 4 is a gem of a beautiful thing, guys. Verse 4 says this. Now, this is gonna get a little confusing, so let's not get lost on this. let's break it down.
I'm gonna get a pad and paper. Just a second.
Please diagram this. Because your best friend. Okay, so your best friend, Harry, his brother's name is Larry.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so your best friend is Harry. His brother is Larry. Now,
that's a lot already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, in 5 days, keep that in mind. In 5 days, Larry, the brother of your best friend, is going to get married. Okay, in 5 days.
Okay.
Okay, now Larry is hoping you can make it to the wedding. Because if you can, he's hoping. Because if you can make it, you're going to be the best man.
Harry's out.
Harry's gone. What happened to Harry? Did he die?
Just in case you can come.
If you happen to be able to come, just show up and be prepared to be the best man.
That's so good.
You say Nito, check your libido. Whoa, boy, what a horny guy. You say Nito, check your libido, and roll.
But I do think the response of Nito jives with a chair dancer. He would definitely say,
"Oh,
Nito.
sure,
Nito." Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And okay, so you say Nito, check your libido, and roll to the church in your new tuxedo. Okay, now he had 5 days. Can you really buy a tux and have it fitted and everything in 5 days? That's a pretty quick turnaround.
Maybe he just, I don't know. Do you have to have them fitted?
Oh, so he bought it off the rack.
Maybe bought it off the rack. He only had 5 days.
So he's got this ill-fitting tuxedo.
You're right.
Maybe he just rented it.
Well, it says your new tuxedo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The bride walks down just to start the wedding, and here's his thought when he sees the bride Aw. So the bride comes walking down, and his first thought is, I'll never get with her. Can't bone down with her.
Nope. It's one more.
So, and there's one more girl you won't be getting. So you start thinking, then you start blinking. Don't know why this is happening. Maybe he's getting sad because he misses his chair.
He's blinking back tears. He's been standing up in this wedding party.
Aw, that's sweet. He's emotional.
Okay, so you start thinking, then you start blinking. A bridesmaid looks and thinks that you're winking.
So I'm wondering, how is he blinking? Really? Like, I'm just thinking, like,
Oh, this is very clear. It's a little two-eyed wink. He's
That's
bringing
the
it back.
two-eyed wink.
The two-eyed wink.
So she's like, oh, he's winking at me with both eyes. Over and over. He won't stop. And she thinks you're kind of cute. And now you're feeling really firm because the girl is stacked. Of course she's not a no-go. Right?
Oh, no.
Reception's jumping. Now we're at the reception. Faces pumping. I don't know how a face pumps.
I don't think it's supposed to.
They had bad shrimp at the reception.
There's a problem.
And
Someone's allergic. Someone's allergic to the shrimp.
My face is swollen. All right, reception's jumping, face is pumping. Look at the girl and your heart starts thumping. Says she want to dance to a different groove. Now you know what to do, so you bust a move. You immediately sit on the dance floor.
It's a different groove. You know what to do.
It's a different groove.
She says, everyone's out here doing this electric slide. She's over that. She's like, hey, you got a different groove? You know what to do. You grab your chair. You bust a move.
I thought he was just going to sit on the dance floor like he did the sand.
Okay, maybe so. Yeah, maybe so.
Just wherever you're at, sit down and start dancing.
just doing the wormy dog across the dance floor at the wedding.
I don't know what happened to Harry. I don't know why he's not mentioned in the rest of the song. Your best friend. He's your best friend. And he's never mentioned again.
So I have to point something out here, though. I have to point something out. This is in second person. So he's not talking about stuff that has happened himself. He's talking about stuff that has happened to you, the listener.
I love it.
Of the song.
I never thought about that. He's not saying my best friend.
So he's saying, yeah. You have a best friend named Harry. And maybe that's why, he's not mentioned again, because you didn't know that. You knew Larry. You didn't know Harry was your best friend.
I never realized I was the subject of this song.
You are.
I realized I am the chair dancer.
This song is wow. I am the chair dancer. Another
So apparently,
t-shirt.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this about you guys, that you thought all women were materialistic and, gold digging.
Yeah.
So shame on you.
Very clearly, it says some.
Oh, does it really?
girls
Does it really?
Are materialistic.
Well, it says girls are fake in goodness sake, and this is back in verse 3. Sorry, I'm jumping back. You got no money and you got no car, then you got no woman.
Right.
So
yeah.
Oh yeah. I stand by that.
I also love verse 3. I mean, tell a funny joke just to get some play. That's the only reason why you're telling a funny joke. Not to be friendly or, have a conversation.
Right.
Tell a funny joke just to get some play.
So young MC is really predatory. And no, you are really predatory. He's saying that you are.
So are you, she.
Dang it.
All right, guys. Well, Wopsle, what do you rate
Didn't think about that.
the lyrics to Young MC's Bust a Move? There's a lot of options.
I'm
here.
going to rate the song Bust a Move. You want it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right, Shishi, what do you rate the lyrics to the song Bust a Move by Young MC?
Okay. So I love I think it's really good lyrics. Like he has very good wordplay
Right.
in this song. also really sexist. So I give it the wormy dog scoot. That's what I give it.
Man.
Now, is that scoot happening at the luncheon, at the dance floor of the wedding, or at the beach? Where is the scoot happening?
Don't forget the movies.
Oh, well, that's chair dancing. He's not scooting. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's chair dancing.
Right.
Yeah, we're not wormy dogs.
Although it would be pretty awesome.
Maybe.
She says, hey, come over here and sit. He runs over into the aisle next to her. Starts giving it to her.
Just sits down on the concrete.
This out, huh? All right. Well, I am going to give Young MC's Bust a Move, the lyrics. I'm going to give it, because the sexism brings it down a little bit, but it's just so groovy and fun, and the words all fit well together. So I'm going to give it 7 out of 10 ill-fitting tuxes.
Well, we sure are glad you guys are listening. Hey, this last week we got an email from my friend Dean that had review topics and also just said that he's listening and he enjoys it. So we love stuff like that. Shoot us an email if you think about us at reviews@kick.cool.
Thank you, Dean. We also want to thank the band Bugs, BYYYye, for letting us use the song Reviews as our theme song. Thank you, Bugs.
Thanks, Bugs.
And I would like to have everyone come over to Twitter and follow us at Kick the Cool on Twitter.
Over there.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. Love you. Bye.
I saw that. How far did you scroll down?
Where's my car? So I don't know what connection they think that the movie Dude, Where's My Car is the logical, not another WC song or even another rap song.
Delicious. Fine.
The movie Dude, it's underneath the
I see it.
track. Is it Dude, Where's My Car for y'all too?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Cake cool.